Hello.
Oh. Hello, everybody.
How you doing? I love this. Kind of moody for a start of okay, but anyway, hello, welcome to a live stream. I think I have everything working. Are you guys seeing everything? Hopefully. Love that little tension right there. Anyway, so welcome to a live stream. It's almost Christmas time. I want to know what you guys are getting yourselves for Christmas. I ordered a 16-inch MacBook Pro. Amazon has them at 10% off, 9% off. You won't get it before Christmas at this point. They've sold out. I got one of the last 15 that will show up, and I actually can't open it because I'm going to take it to the Apple store and swap it for one with 32 gigabytes of memory instead of 16, if they will let me. Fingers crossed. But it's just, they did such a good job on it, and I need a new laptop, and I'm going to the NAMM show to show Unify, and it will be on that laptop. And I will probably be doing live streams in the future using that laptop because it is considerably more powerful than the computer I am currently broadcasting on, even though it's a laptop. How's that? So there's all sorts of cool stuff to show you. I've released a couple videos showing some free plugins. There's 2 reverb plugins that are really nice that are free right now from our friends at Arturia. They have what they call their EMT Plate 140, something like that. Also Pigments. And we're going to be looking at this a little bit. It's been upgraded to version 2. Thank you, Steve Levine. Nice to see you. And then there's a couple others that I want to show you, and maybe we can talk. Somebody was talking about in one of the other videos I posted of there's another effect that just became free this month. Also on the free list, make sure you go to nativeinstruments.com. they have their free reverb, which is called ROM, which stands for space. However, I, being one that likes to think about this stuff, I thought it might stand for reverb and unusual modulation, but that's not necessarily the case. ROM stands for space, I guess, in German. So it's more than space, and it's not an act. If that's what it means, maybe space like outer space or something like that. Yeah, good to see you all. Welcome to the feed. I have some cool stuff in the Unify universe to show you. Been having a whole lot of fun making new patches and coming up with some new things that we can do that are really unique. I love, this is using a concept where this Guru sampler is set on a sample that is unpitched. So no matter where I play on the keyboard, I get this pitch. And then on top of that, I have a whole bunch of piano and pads. Isn't that cool? So you can... Then you go to the knob page, and I have some other things hiding that. Right? And then you can change the drone pitch. Now you're in key of G. So I haven't set up macro 1 for what I wanted to do yet on this one, but I have a couple others of these. This one's super cool, just crazy stuff. So there's this pad just sitting there, and then I have some really cool things like this. I asked Shane this last week to make Pump House able to go up to 8 bars. So I'm doing volume modulation stuff, so it's not linear. While there's a high pass filter sweep happening. And then on top of that, I built this really cool soundscape with the other sounds. So there's stuff like this. There's other things to show you that are really fun that I'm working on for Unify. Can't wait to get this to you all. We keep adding new features. We added, let me show you one feature, then we'll get to all the free stuff. This is so cool. I've loved this kind of stuff. This is something that Absinthe, I don't know of many other synthesizers besides Absinthe that have this, where we can go to the Guru sampler. Let's load something like from the Del Norte pads, like Klamath. And I can have pitch bend go up and down in an octave, and I can have the filter start bright, and then I'm gonna have it go negative. And look at, we have lag for both the mod wheel and for pitch bend. So you can, let me show you what this means. I move this up and it slowly, and we're gonna make this so it can go even longer and slower. So you can adjust separately the modulation for pitch bend and for... So you can do all sorts of cool stuff like that. Those parameters were just added yesterday. So we keep refining. There's other things that we're working on to finalize what we want for version 1. We're almost there. A lot of the other issues have been fixed, and so it's super exciting times around here as far as all that goes. Here, let's call up a Unify, and I'll show you some of these effects. Let's call up a piano. I think we'll go to key. By the way, you see the little hearts? You can now click to favorite, and then you hit the little favorite button right here, and whatever is selected as favorites shows up, which is nice. Get back to keys. Okay, so of the free effects, let's do this. Here is the EMT. Oh wait, this is the universal audio. We don't want to show you that one. It's a $200 effect, and it's better than this one in some respects, as far as like the definition and stuff. Let's make sure I turn off all ambience by just boom, bye-bye. There's no reverb, no ambience anywhere. So if I turn this off, let me raise this up just a little bit so it's not quite so keynote heavy. So there are 3 different models of the plate. This is a brighter. Let's do this actually. This might be a little bit easier to show. Let's get rid of this. Let's go to a drum loop. Drum. I think I got I got them under loop. Here, it's a little bit brighter. They have a pull down where you've got high pass filtering. Only to 700 hertz. Pre-delay up to 250 milliseconds. They've got modulation, which is cool. There's not any controls for rate or type or anything. You've got EQ. Kill the low end, emphasize it, high end. And then you have the time, which is done with a little plus and minus. And you have to click each time, but you can. Now you should be able to hear more difference. Hear how that's got more filtering on the high end. And this is punchier, supposedly. It's more relaxed and then brighter. Okay? So for a free reverb, it's not bad. It has a drive. Which is nice. So, hey, you know, thank you, Arturia, is all we need to say to that, right? On top of this, also the native instruments free effect that's really nice is ROM. And this is a whole different place space-wise because there are 3 different algorithms you can choose between. This is more more sound design oriented. It even gets crazier if you start looking over here where you have a delay, which you can bring into this. And you can tempo sync it. So if I was at 120, right? So you can get some crazy different things happening here. Yeah, so it's crazy. You can bring this all in to be tights as well if you wanted to get more into the unique harmonic kind of. And if you want to get even more in scene, just make this 100% or so. So if you're a fan of Sasha, and this is how you can get those kind of effects. Just automate all this stuff. Right? So it's pretty cool. There's a ton of presets. One thing that I like is they have a lock button right here, and so with that, since I'm using this in this type of way with the drum loop, I might want it to be here. I can lock this, and now I can cycle through all the presets. And the mix stays locked. So it's... So it's sound design. Space isn't quite the right word for this. They should have spent a little more time and come with something different than that. So those two effects are very nice. Somebody mentioned, let me see if I can find this really fast. I have to go to YouTube and look at my own videos. How's that? By the way, I was really blown away. I just passed 37,000 subscribers. It's one of those things where I don't really even like, you know how people do so much of that speaking before video. I put, rate, comment, subscribe on every video, but I don't do a lot of like, subscribe, everybody, you gotta subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate the subscriptions. It makes it, I do that every now and then, but not that often. So it's really cool that we have grown to where we are. Let's see. So someone was talking about, where is it? There's also the Black 76 limiting amplifier on audio plugin deals. Let's see. Oh, yeah, here you go. So if you go to audio plugin deals, one of those websites that's killing our industry, you can go here to the IK Multimedia and get this for free. And by killing our industry, I mean everything is now 80% off, and people are giving away just to make any money. They have to do that because there's so many people competing now. It's unfortunate. It's had a big impact on the amount of money we all make as a living doing this, because there's more people trying to share that pie that used to be a very nice pie 10 years ago. It's quite different than now. And this business model of just put all your stuff together and make it 80% off. I mean, that's a short-lived deal. I don't know if that's going to survive for us or not, but that's one reason why I'm very thankful to be heading into the plugin world, because it's not as easy. Believe me, it is not easy to get into the plugin world at all. And to have something different that's not just another same old is also not easy. So I'm happy about that. Anyway, so I don't want to rant about that too much. I could rant about the Discovery trying to take the whole rights away from musicians, which is a horrible thing, and they need to be like slapped upside the head for that. Yeah, its competition is creating a race to zero in many industries. Nico, that is a very, very keen observation. You were right, my friend. You know, just make it something that not everybody else makes, and put it at a fair price. And that's what I'm hoping to do, because you just can't race. You can't beat when people are doing 80% off on their... I'm at 50% off, and I'm really uncomfortable even doing that. I hate doing that. But that's the lowest I will ever go with my libraries. I've every now and then done the tests where I make it cheaper. And you do all this work, and you're selling something for $5, and so you make $300 off what should have been $5,000 in sales, right? It's like, oh, great, you made $300. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's a shame Arturia is selling Pigments. Well, you know, it's a plugin, and there's, as we will show you, in fact, we'll get to that in a minute, Pigments is unique. And so they can ask whatever they want as far as I'm concerned, because when you're selling something unique, you can put your price tag on it, and if people don't want it, then they don't need to buy it. You don't need Pigments if you have 7 other synthesizers. At this point, nobody needs anything, really. We all have so many synthesizers that we don't know what to do with them anyhow. That's why Unify is so important to me, because it's this new playground to put your synthesizers you already own that gives you abilities that they don't have without this plugin. So I think it's going to be really cool in that regards. But this is the Ample guitar. I love these guys. They're really a great company. Ample Sound, sound.net is where you go. I haven't played with their amplifiers and their rock guitars and stuff like that. I'm sure they're great. But if you go to download, right here, you can get this guitar. And you can also get the Cloud Drum for free. And this guitar, I believe it's missing the low E string. It's missing some other things. But they have some cool mono legato. So it's not just samples playing back. They have strumming and all sorts of stuff on this too, if I recall. There's capos and all sorts of things you get when you get the full version. You do doubling. Very nice. If you go up here to Strummer, you can turn on the Strummer, and now I'm just playing notes to re-trigger. And you can make your own chords. Kind of like an auto harp. They have effects you can turn on. So really cool stuff. Wah. Let's see if you turn it on. So it's very well thought out. They've put a lot of work into their guitars. They have all sorts of different guitars and distorted guitars that are great. The other thing they have that is free to download that is really nice is this. This is the percussion, the cloud drum, I guess. And it's one of the hang drum type of metal drums. They have a button for the play low D and it mutes it. They have a synth layer, ambience, it dries the actual recording. You have envelopes, you have delay and reverb. Totally free. And it's a plugin, so it doesn't require using some other host to play it, which is nice. And you can double it or not, which is cool. So both of those are free, and I showed you the IK Multimedia on the Plugin Deals website for free, which is nice if you want to get a limiter. There's a lot of other things. Even inside of Unify, we're using plugins that most of these that you see in this list, you can find on the internet for free. The PG8X is a wonderful emulation of the Yamaha, or not the Yamaha, but the Roland. Here we go over here to load, to the factory patches. And I mean, it sounds just like a JX8P. It's one of the first synthesizers I started selling at music stores. So the PG8X is free. If you search on the net, OBXD, not with this skin. The skin that comes with it is more like the classics like this. OBXD is great. We have our own skin that we've designed that comes with Unify. Right? There's also DXED, which is a DX7. Now stuff like this though, what's nice with Unify is I've made all these different presets. So you can say I want a keyboard bank, and it loads up DXED, and it loads up a set of patches. Then the thing that's really nice with Unify is we have right here our own curvature for the MIDI velocity. And DXED especially really needs the ability to modify this curve so it plays really nice. So these are available. If you don't have these synthesizers, you can get them. We include them by permission from the developers inside of Unify, because when you put them together, you can come up with these things that are just so cool. My gosh, some of these, like this is using Guru Sampler and DXED together, and so we can do all sorts of cool things when they're together. So there's so much. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time in Unify land yet. We'll do that in a bit, but I want to show Pigments next. But those are free synthesizers if you don't own. It's fun to get to know them a little bit before Unify comes out. Digits you can find. It's not as refined. We've done some work and sent it to the developer to make it so it has sustain on the pitch bend, or the sustain pedal works. We've done some other fixes to it under the hood and gotten them to the developer for their updates. We've helped update 2 or 3 different plugins. It's good to to support our community that we're being a part of with Unify. So that's really cool. So we'll play with Unify at the end here, but I want to do a jump sideways to talk about Arturia's Pigments. Let's see here, Arturia Pigments, and it's just called Pigments still. Some people were saying that it was a required pay to upgrade, and that's definitely not the case. If you go to their website, arturia.com, the second page is Pigments. If you click here, one of the first things it says is free update for all Pigments owners. So if you own Pigments, it is free. They're running this special to sell it for $99 instead of $199. You're welcome to complain about that if you want. It was $69 when it very first came out. So what they have done is they've done some serious upgrades. I had a hard time with Pigments version 1. I haven't dug super deep into Pigments version 2, but having a sample engine makes everything so much easier. You can get to some unique harmonics and then blend the synthesis with it. The synthesis that it has, I won't say it's stronger. It wasn't that strong in the first place. The modulation is very powerful. The way it works where you can just click on anything that has a knob and now you can just assign modulations to all sorts of things that you have going on in the modulation, the functions, the envelopes. There's all sorts of things that you have here you can work with. I just didn't, the actual analog synth engine, it doesn't have a lot of teeth. It's not very in your face and aggressive. The wavetables are nice, but again, they weren't very aggressive. And so I had a really hard time. There's this certain color range that it's really good at, and that's still the case. But now with the sample engine and with the granular, you can get to some cool, unique colors and stuff in that color space that I think are better. I still haven't heard, if you go to here, if you say, I want sense, they don't even have, see, bright, digital, you know. It's kind of an interesting list that these are all the types that they have. Like, where do you find, you've got strings, but where are synths, you know? Oh, maybe you can hit this larger. No, that's it. So you have bass, lead, organ, pad, and analog. You don't see anything there, so they don't have, that's really not its forte, which is maybe smart. It's good, these types of sounds, but these are kind of like, you know, there's $8 synthesizers that can do that. With the Pigments 2 patches, they've definitely hit some cool different territories. This is made, let's see, we gotta close this. So there's 2 engines. One, they're both playing samples. They both have granular. But with the pitch, the direction, with the other parameters that they have, you can get into kind of like wavetable-esque, which is randomly changing pitches, which is cool. Like, this is killing my CPU just for this pad sound. You can check this out. Put it right here. Oh. for 3 notes. That's a very expensive 3 notes. So let's see, what do they have happening in here? They have FM. One oscillator's ample with granular. It's granular requires CPU power for sure. Let's turn that off. It's a little better. You know, it's better than it was for sure. And this is showing a modulation. So we click here. Go. Oh. It was macro 2. So. Okay, so it's definitely sounding better to me than it did. And the other benefits of having the granular and other stuff in it's nice. What's cool is you could say all types, but just Pigments 2 patches, and then close this, and now we'll only go through the Pigment 2 patches. And there's some cool alternative stuff in here now. It has MPE compatibility, so you can hook this up to your Rolly keyboard. Those are fun to play with. It's basically just a single sample. From what I can tell, they have under the sample area mapping, key maps. You can do key maps. So you can say I guess you'd probably need more than one sample in this, and then you would be able to key map it. But you have round robins, so you can set up where it goes from one sample to the next. Does random, which is nice. All sorts of cool things as far as that goes. That's cool that they did incorporate. And I haven't played, apparently in the effects section, they now have a delay, which can be, let's see if we go back to here. They have, I guess, is it supposed to be maybe it's the tape echo, which is the Buchla style. That's cool. But they talk about on the website, I'd have to explore a bit, but if you get down here, they added a new filter and a space age tape echo. So let's see here. If we go, okay, so this is space age tape echo. Presets. Nice. Well, they have an area for presets, but they don't have any presets, so you can't go between the different presets. It just looks like the ping pong delay, maybe the way that it's doing its calculations makes it vintage. Yeah. There's the new sequencer abilities, which are cool. Let's see if we They have this little dice function now that you can bring up percentages. Like if you want slides to be random. But it does the same thing all the time. It doesn't seem to be truly a random, like maybe I'm missing something here, but you can choose a random amount and it should be different each time. It just calls up like a preset. Does the same thing with him. So I'm not sure how that works. I thought it's cool that there are some cool abilities with that you can do with certain parameters. I don't know. I need to spend more time to warm up to it, but I can definitely see that I can do a library with Unify using this. With everything we have in Unify, we'll be able to make some really, 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 really cool stuff. A little concerned about how CPU heavy it is. They could hopefully optimize this some more. Nice. I think this is one where I played with, they have environmental sounds, and over here they have filtering. Which is nice to have that at the sample level. Here's your modulation controls. So it's nice. It's a nice synthesizer. Again, it has this kind of like alternate. It still at times feels like there's like, you know, the paper towels over the tweeters of your speakers. Like, I just imagine if I heard this, well, here, if we go to Unify, when it comes to pads, these are pads that I've sampled and so forth, and then some of them have synths and stuff, but when I hear a pad, I want to hear some of this type of, I want to hear some more definition, even in sine waves. You know that definition? The stuff that this was the case with the first version of Pigments too, is I think it's just voicing choices. But again, having a pad that you can't even play chords with, that's kind of tough to sell. Go to Unify. I can play all the notes I want. And I don't have those types of issues to work with. So, I mean, you eventually, if you get to some of the Unify pads and stuff that have lots of layers, you can get into that stuff. But this is just 2 oscillators, so it's not, you know, I have some of these pads like in Unify that get quite a bit more than that. And let's see here. Where's one of the bigger pads that I've made? Where's some big pads? Here, I'll shoot this over so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just cycling through the patches. There, like, oh, this is one of those with the drone stuff happening. So it doesn't really count. Well, here's 3 layers. So we are doing some stuff a little differently. So there are other indicators of CPU activity beyond what Logic can see, although we're definitely showing more activity than we did before because we had an engine realignment we did. You know, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 effects and 3 oscillators. And it's far more CPU efficient. So it's definitely, we have an optimization level that Pigments doesn't have for sure. Let's see if I turn this back on. I think I turned it off. I'm playing 3 notes. And it's crackling audio and stuff for me. So that's the unfortunate thing. It's fun when you can push synthesis in cool ways, but what's the cost, right? Anyway, it is a free update for existing Pigments owners. So if you own Pigments, all you have to do is go to the Arturia website. Let me log in real quick so that you can see where you go. So if you go to the Pigments, if you go here, I shouldn't have all my personal information shown in front of everybody, should I? Go away. Oops. Anyway, you can go to an area that says My Products, and it will list your products. You just scroll down the list. Oh, I'm showing all my serials. Oh, God. I will have to edit and probably delete this part of the video. I think I can do that, or I can blur it or something. I didn't realize I would be showing that. Whoops. Well, you can go there and it can be downloaded. So you just hit download. Oops. There's my serial numbers. Right, I'm looking at the chat list. So tell me, what do you guys got yourselves for Christmas? What are some of the things you guys are excited about? I also got myself a new printer. A $50 little Canon printer because my other one died. Oh, I did get one other cool thing for Christmas. I won't know if I can see it. There it is. I don't know if they're still on sale. Maybe they are. I got one of these coming. So I'll be making a library with it, of course, but they've got a discount for it, so you can grab one. That drum hang. So that's the other Christmas present, which is also to build libraries. So that's kind of fun on a couple fronts. A Steam controller for my games. Oh, cool. Hope Skippy gets an award next year at NAMM. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't do what I do for awards. I do what I do because I would like to have a plugin like what I'm building. That's the only reason I'm making Unify is, oh, cool. Zoom Q2H in 4K camera. Nice. You must try the Blue Art. I must try the Blue Art plugin. Frontman. Thanks for saying that. We have that built into Unify. We received permission to include the blue ARP inside of Unify. So if we go up here, I think to favorites, to something like this, we're using the blue ARP. And you can go to the menu and change the skin to be different else if you want, you know. And we actually have it in some cases getting into pretty crazy territory. Some of these BPM ones, let's see, like Living the Dream or Thrill of the Dance is really cool. Look at five different so yeah, we are using the blue ARP. We have drank the blue Kool-Aid and it was really good. So it was really kind of the people behind the blue ARP to say, yes, you may use it. So we are using it. And is that one that still uses sustain pedal? No, that's a MIDI filter. Oh, suppressing sustain. Oh, this is one where I wanted. Oh, and we just, like I said, we'd updated the pump house. 1, 2, 3. I'm still going through these and fixing them. That's right. And then the one above it. 1, 2, 3. So we have our own LFO tool-esque inside. Without these, it's just nice pad. And you can get into going in and editing all sorts of things. We now have a really cool, it's a basic graph, but it still helps a lot. This in the future will be updated with a full snap in place and all sorts of snap to the grids and zooming and all sorts of things we will add to Unify to the graphs in the future. This is just, got to realize that Unify, we're getting it to where it's got a really cool set of tools, but they're all at like first grade levels. And then they will grow and expand and have additional capabilities, and those will all be free updates. So anyway, what else did you guys get for Christmas? Yeah, Visas took a big hit this Christmas season. I feel you, man. I hear you. Stop buying guitars a year ago and haven't missed anything. Oh, yeah, guitars are one of those places like synthesizers, but instead of being, you know, $49 on sale, a really good guitar will set you back $400 or $500 minimum, right? You should try our Sonic by Blast. Interesting. Let's take a look. Everybody together, we're gonna look at our Sonic. Our Sonic. I guess I need to put in is it oursonic.com? No, that's not. Let's see here. Timas, can you give me a little bit more information? Our Sonic and Blast are showing me like somebody's graphic website. That's not exactly an $8 plugin. Our Sonic audio. Now I see Sonic and there's Permutate and Bitspeak and so forth. But yeah, I need more information, my friend. If you can tell me what it is, I will. Oh, Arsonic. Oh, with a K. Gotcha. Okay, maybe that will do it. Sorry. R. No. It still wants to show me Sonic the Hedgehog. Set Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, Blast, Arsonic. Here we go at the backshop.nl. FM Synth. New. Okay. Blast Arsonic. Let me see if I can find out some more information on finding this. New synth by Arsonic Blast. Okay, found them. Here we go. So, it's the power of FM synthesis without the hassle. So you can try it, or you can go to buy now, and I guess it's $8, you said? It's $89. So, yeah. That's not $8, but I'll try out the demo, and maybe there's a place to find it for cheaper or something like that. It's iBlast. Interesting. Okay, a new synth to look at. I always like to see new synths, so very cool. Thank you. And I'll look to see if I can find it at the discount you mentioned, because that I looked earlier. It was $8. Oh. Whoops, we missed their sale. It's kind of funny to stop a sale this soon before Christmas, but hey, you know. Soren, what are we talking about here, man? Let's see what Soren's talking about. Yeah, cloud is expensive. Phantom's on your wish list. Yeah, if you can, team us, that would be cool. Some audio things have DSP power. Yeah, I have Universal Audio and love them to death. If we wanted to have a little comparison, we have a little spare time. Let's do this. Let's go Unify. Let's go to pianos. Or maybe the drum loop again. Drum loops they show so many different frequencies. Or one of the drum kits even. Let's do that. Let's go to the Super Pop. Okay. So we can say here's the EMT 140 from Arturia. And then let's also call up Universal Audio. This is using as, I forgot your name, my friend. Soren was speaking about 11 to 12 bugs. But Soren was talking about Universal Audio, and you can hear so much more detail in the sample, in the reverb. They have these A, B, C, D plates here. Compare that to, oh, I turned it on over here. The algorithm just isn't as complex. Classic. pretty heavily filtered. Right? I have an input high pass filter. But hear the ring out. I mean, they're both nice. This is closer to this. Compared to this. I mean, for a free reverb, I'll take it. Compare that to here. Down the gain. So they're both nice. There's a certain organic thing happening in the reverb body of Universal Audio that is great. And they have, I have most all of their effects. I have invested pretty heavily in Universal Audio's world. I was actually, check this out. Where is it? This is why I love Unify, because we can like put all the effects, all the reverbs together. But the Dream Verb, I actually worked on this. Some of my patches are in here, and I beta tested with them on this. The shape and the resonance, and there's a lot of different parameters to these. Be able to choose from all these different types of materials which have a difference in the actual you know. So good stuff. They've also they get really carried away with some of the other reverbs. But be careful with Universal Audio. It's one of these rabbit holes where you start going down and all of a sudden you want to like spend a lot of money. And thank goodness they have the sales that they do and stuff like that. I'll tell you one that I really love from them is this, the delay. This has that vibe. I used to sell the SDD 3000 at a music store many years ago, and it's a what are some of the things we can filter? has that vibe to it. It's really nice. So yeah, we could go, that's a big rabbit hole to fall into. So, but this is nice. And I really enjoyed ROM. ROM was definitely something I can see using in the future. The reverb has a whole lot of unique textures to it. There's a lot to it. What's also nice is you can click right here to change it to be less diffused. So it's really great at just making these little spaces and then add a little slap back and then just bring it back. Without it. Good stuff. What's also fun with this, you can just freeze it. And it's frozen, and you can now add stuff to it. So make really cool textures that way. So if you need a texture machine, ROM might be the way to go, you know? Okay, let's see. ROM freeze. For someone confused that. Oh, Steampunk says, thank you for the Break Tweaker videos of a couple years ago. You are welcome. Break Tweaker is a very cool, great sounding groove thing that we've done 3 libraries for. By the way, just to point out, because I do need to hopefully make some money this month and pay bills, Plugin Guru is having a great sale. So go to the pluginguru.com website and stock up on inspiring patches. We've got 50% off and a whole bunch of different libraries to choose from. The TastyByte libraries go away 2 weeks from tomorrow. This is where you can buy yourself a whole bunch of patches in a certain category of sound, like just the BPM bass alone is so cool. I mean, we could play with that for a minute. We're about to wrap up this live stream, but if we go to, let's see, let's init. Where are we at? Let's turn off ROM. ROM is so nice. If we go to Omnisphere, which you can do the old school way, or you can go here. I need to make a favorites list and stuff like that as well, but Omnisphere. Inside of Omnisphere, we have, I've got a number of things I can show you here. There's the Box of Noise from Airwave, which is a new library that he's created that has, why are you not playing? What happened? We're getting MIDI. Oh, I'm talking on MIDI channel 2. Okay. And a lot of these are really effect dependent. Here, we can shrink Unify down to share the screen space. Let's make Unify. Actually, let's make Omnisphere bigger. There. If you turn off the effects to a lot of these, that's because Airwave really got into using inner space. In this library, it really opens up a huge, cool new thing because all of these samples in inner space, you can actually get access to hear them and then manipulate them. There's a video on my channel where Airwave shows, if you go, let's see, let's initialize everything. And if you just use white noise in a short burst, synth, noise, short burst, right? Like even that small of a tiny little burst, go over here, add inner space to layer A, and now, whatever sample you call up here, this is actually just an audio recording. Even the space ones that are large and all this kind of stuff, that's what the original sample sounded like. Right? That's all from a little tiny tick because it is triggering. The way convolution reverb works is when you trigger it, it's kind of like a roller coaster. And here's this guy going down the roller coaster ride, the up and down, the loops. Once it starts down the roller coaster, it goes through the whole sample, the whole roller coaster process. So every you play on the keyboard, it's the same pitch. And then there's ways to manipulate that. And lots of ways to do that. And he shows in the video how to do that. So all of these hundreds, if not thousands of samples that are here, these are all able to be turned into new sources. I mean, that's how it works. Now we did the same thing. We don't have a 2 convolution, but we do have convolution reverb inside of, let's mute this. Let's say duplicate this layer real quick. And then let's call this up to be just the Guru sampler real quick, because I want to show you. So if we go basic waveforms and we go down to noise, we have white noise from the Moog. It's still muted, so, right? Little burst, and then here for effects, under reverb we have clang falter, and then we have both reverbs, all sorts of different reverbs, right? But we also have these really cool, what I call noise verbs, and a lot of these come from, well, I made a lot of new ones. And because our noise is transposing in pitch right now, which I could stop by going over here and say, don't transpose in pitch. Whatever frequencies are in the sound get transferred into the convolution reverb. So if instead of this, if I had this be a synth waveform, let's have it be pitch now. It now has that, whatever is going on in the convolution reverb, and you can see it here on the screen. Then unlike inner space, we have some parameters here to play with. So you can take the beginning of the sample later into the sample, which is really cool. You can shape it. So even if it comes from something really weird, like some of the coin cups, You can get into some cool territory. So that's I always go off on these tangents, don't I? It's but it's so fun. So anyway, so Box of Noise explores this kind of cool stuff. That's without the convolution, without the inner spaces. Right? So there's all sorts of stuff. Using the samples. Now, if you go down the list, there's over 400 patches. Blocks and car engines and trains and clapping and cooking and dishes and dishwashers and stuff like that. That stuff he used up here earlier for all this BPM drum stuff. Right? So noise. Oh, this is just using noise. Here's without the inner space. So it's totally noise based. And then inner space is it's taking on the personality of those samples. So Box of Noise is one library that we have at the website. That will continue, that will continue after January 5th. But these libraries I'm going to take down because these are just too huge of a discounts. So it's only for this time of year that I'm going to do it, and then they're gone. And these are patches from 20 libraries. Right? It's just one patch, so so this is the BPM bass library. Omnisphere is still just a monster. I mean, always will be a monster. So let's take and put something like a pad with this, but let's do this. Let's go up here and split it so that we have. Go to part 3 and let's go to another one of the categories, like maybe BPM synth, and choose. So the libraries, they all work together. Each library you get typically over 100 patches. One library in particular is quite healthy, and that's the pads and strings, which has, I think, like 50 megabytes, or no, more like 500 megabytes, I think, of just different patches. There's 170 something patches, I believe, and oh, I'm on 3, so I won't hear that. And I'm on BPM bass, so I need to get back here to pads and strings. Anyway, please check these out. If you need inspiring patches, it's a great way to get a ton of stuff in your favorite categories of sounds that you use all the time. But this is one of those cases where it's like the discount is pretty huge on these. That's why they are only till January 5th. Okay. Are there any questions? I want to thank all of you for joining and hanging out and letting me go off on my tangents. Do you accept even Canadian currency? Yeah, I'm about to drop PayPal, by the way. So I'll keep Stripe. Stripe accepts all credit cards, national currencies from around the world. Oh, Omnisphere is killing us with a patch. So. These whispers are cool. These are from Mega Magic Viola, where they start soft, and then the mod wheel lets you take them up to Dreamwork is great. So we have those to work with. These are all part of the pads and strings. So we have some of the spiccatos. You do not have the multis. That's the one thing that these libraries are, they're only patches. So the multis, you still need to buy the full library of Mega Magic Viola to get the multis where there's the viola samples that are multi-samples across the keyboard. This is just a single sample across the keyboard is the limit for us inside of Omnisphere. Okay. So grab those if you wish. I hope you all have a wonderful Merry Christmas. Rest in peace, PayPal. Yeah, no. Probably because PayPal has, yeah, their rates are just, it's like, I have this silent partner named PayPal. And I didn't know I was agreeing to, as much as I was agreeing to pay them to carry the currency of helping me sail. And there's other companies like Stripe that are not going to do what PayPal does for the cost. So bye-bye PayPal. So in summary, don't forget the free effects if you would like to have more toys added to your arsenal. The Arturia plate is very nice. The ROM is really nice. Of the two, I would definitely say you definitely do not want to miss. I don't know what Native Instruments is going to do with ROM. I don't know what Arturia is going to do with. My guess is they have some sort of a reverb trio coming out, because if you look at their website, they have trios now for amps and filters and all sorts of things. So my guess is there's a reverb thing, and they're including 1/3 of whatever that trio is going to be for free, and that's nice. But Merry Christmas to you all, and to all a happy, healthy holidays. Hope you get to spend time with family and friends. Drink eggnog if you're into it. I'm not one that likes eggnog. It's pretty funny. Thank you, Soren. That's really nice of you. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Oh, I see. Yeah, I've got all these effects going. I was like, wow. That sounds good now. It's because there's ROM and there's... And just to clarify, there will be more libraries for Omnisphere. There will be other libraries for other things in the future once Unify is out, but they will be sold through, you will play them through Unify. Because with Unify, I have copy protection. We just worked out, there's a guy in Australia that keeps selling 400 Omnisphere libraries on eBay for like $100. And we've taken him down 2 or 3 times. And I'm, We have a really cool authorization system. Each library is protected. It's a very high level of protection. It will be very difficult to crack, and we can modify, and we have technology in place in case things do start to go south. But everything in the future that I make is going to be through Unify because I can protect it. For the first time, I will be able to protect my libraries. I wouldn't be shocked if maybe in a year, all the libraries I sell for Omnisphere will be only sold through Unify. It's just a huge amount of work to do the conversion over. But I'm so tired of libraries that I release that are not protected, that are torrented. And I go to the pages of torrent sites because I know these torrent sites. I find them all the time, and it's been downloaded 10,000 times and I've sold it 400 times. It's not fair. So it's one of those things where everything will be through Unify from here on out once this is in place. That's the main reason this is my platform to continue the adventure. And everything that I make in the future at some point will be ported and gone through the Unify protection, because this has the ability to protect libraries. And other companies, if they want to protect their libraries, come talk to us. We are going to make this available for other people to make their libraries, and we're going to open up and make the browser. This is just our ground zero browser. We will be making this far cooler and all that kind of stuff. And this is one layer of favorites, and we want to make favorites so that it's got much more expandability, all sorts of stuff. So we want to build this to where it can support tons of libraries, tons of developers if they want to work with us, because there's no third-party protection right now for patches. And so Unify's place amongst being this really cool playground to make really cool sounds and play all of my samples and all this great stuff, and it's super efficient and it's multi-processor and all that stuff. But the other thing that's really, really, really important to me is I get to protect my libraries and get to protect my work, so that if somebody wants to use my work, they're paying me. It's no longer being stolen from me. So that that's the future. So I'm really, really excited to be able to have a future where you people on the live streams, I'm sure most of you are not torrent heads, but there are so many people that steal so much and sell. If you go look on eBay, you can find virtually every plugin for $20. And, in a lot of cases, there's nothing that you can do about it, but there is stuff you can do about it in certain sense. So, yeah. Well, we're trying to make it so that it's not a pain in the butt. Like I have iLocks. I have 2 different e-licenser keys, and those suck. I mean, it protects them in some ways, and it's a pain for us. But we have a cool system in place, I think, for this authorizing. And when you authorize and put something in, you'll have a list of products to choose from, and then put in your serial number, and it's done through our website, and it's done in a really cool way. So we'll see. Have to try something because right now it's really difficult to want to release something that you're going to sell this number, and this number is going to be stolen from you. And those that steal, some of them don't, but a lot of people that I know do. And a lot of people will do all sorts of like sharing and, hey, let's buy it and share it between 5 people or something like that. And it's not right. So we're going to try and try not to make it a pain for everybody. So anyway, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Shaking my tassel at everybody. Thank you for your support. Thanks for hanging out. Do you have to have that running while you use the patches? Well, what will happen is you call it up here and you'll say, here's the library I want, and here's all the patches, and you choose it. They will load faster than they load inside the native plugins. And then you can double click to open up the plugin and work with it. So if you want to edit, you can edit. It's just right here is where you'll call up the... I mean, I can go through and choose patches that are multiple patches, all sorts of things, so fast. faster than anything else I've ever worked with. And on top of that, when making a library for Omnisphere, I can go to another layer and add DexEd. So I can have an FM layer added. And what's great is that it doesn't steal polyphony from Omnisphere, because each of these instruments is its own plugin. That's what's really, think about this for a second. If I was building a synthesizer where I had all these oscillators inside the synthesizer and I had 64 voices of polyphony, with these 5 patches, they'd have to take into that, so it'd be like 10, 11 notes of polyphony. But because these are separate synthesizers, each one with 32, I think 64 voices of polyphony, they don't have to share with the next layer. They're each on their own processor. They each have their own voices of polyphony, so I can... And I'm not running out of polyphony. So it's really, really, really exciting to have all of this stuff coming about to do this. Oh, I had a couple others I'm going to show you. So check this out. Here is Life Begins Anew is another one that's with the... And it's E flat. This is with G, A flat, or... It's actually not in tune. There. Oops, something went wrong there, so we'll fix that. So there's all sorts of things we're going to be able to do with, I mean, when you have this many synthesizers to work with that have their own strengths and you put them together, it just gets crazy what you can do. And again, these are each separate instruments with their own total number of voices. They're not having to share with each other at all. So we're doing things here. I can't think of anything else I can work with that gives me this type of capability without the processor just completely freaking out. So that's kind of fun. So there's all sorts of fun things like that. So exciting times. 2020 is going to be crazy. I mean, just crazy. I can't wait. We will be at the NAMM show. Yes. Yes. It's been great fun, but I gotta go. All right. See you, Tom. Happy holidays to all. Yes, you can rewatch the live stream. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Good Saturday hang. Hope you all have a great Christmas. Let's do our shout outs. Shout out from Portland for me. Yeah. Like, try this in Omnisphere with this many sounds. Try this with... I mean, it eventually runs out. There's no doubt. Let's see. Shout from Norway. Good to see you, Ivar. Be well. Happy holidays, Bill. Marcel in Holland. Shane, the mad genius behind the code inside of Unify up in Canada. Jim in Edmonton. Nice. Got milk. Yes, we are aiming at early January. Probably January 6th. The day after the sales on all the other stuff end, we will release Unify is kind of what I'm aiming at. That gives us time to get all the videos done. Thank you. Thank you all. Hey, good to see you, Cobb in Florida. All these new names, Eartho and another Portlander. Right on, Eartho. Cool. From Brussels for Frank. Good to see you, Frank. Happy holidays. John in South Carolina. I'm thinking all sorts of cool names, man. Names I haven't. There's all the usual regulars and there's some new ones. That's great. All right, I am going to check out. Unify is $59. Because it's version 1, it's not perfect. It's our first product. It will actually be $79 in February, and that will be the retail price that it stays at. Also, I'm just really quickly going to just say, we're not going to put Unify ever on sale. It will never be a $10 plugin. There will be a free demo version of Unify that comes out shortly after it's released. Where all these patches, everything will be in it. You can play it, you can enjoy it. Sounds great. Oh, I love it. But when you go to save anything, it won't save. If you save it in your DAW and call it back up, it will call back up to this for every layer of Unify that you've used. You'll need to own the full version of Unify, and then it will actually have the code written into it then that can save. The demo version doesn't have code written in it on abilities to save. So there is no little, some guy can go in and like crack some code and no, there's no code in there to crack. It can't save. So the demo version will let you play with this. It will let you load all your plugins. You can do everything that you can do in the full version of Unify. You can layer everything, have fun, but nothing will save. And then if you want to save, which I would highly recommend because it's very nice to be able to go, boom, and $59 or $79 in February. I just want everybody to own this. And it's one of those things where this could sell for considerably more money for what it has technology-wise. But we want this to be something everybody uses. Because you can simply load MIDI effects, because it has the ability to take this one MIDI effect and assign it to all 5 layers if I want, which is something you can't do in any DAW, because it works with all of your plugins and it comes with 350 plus patches that I have been working for over a year on. Be a good deal. I want it to be a good deal. I want everybody to feel good when they play with Unify. So there you go. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Cool. Yeah, instant buy, hopefully. Yeah, even at $79, I'm making it so hopefully you feel like it's like 5 or 6 times the value. It has 2.5 gigabytes of samples in it from all of these past $50 libraries. And it's not the full libraries, but it's my favorite stuff from all of those libraries. The pro version of Unify that will be out in a year or so will have all of the samples, 11 gigabytes from all of the libraries. Guru Sampler will be a full-blown sampler with key mapping, and you can make your own maps and use your own samples and do all that kind of stuff. There's so many cool things that will be coming with Unify Pro, and that will probably be like $249. That will be a step up, and it will have networking, so you can network to computers. It has an auto sample built into it that's really cool. All the effects that are in here, we're going to, like, between now and when Unify Pro comes out, all of our plugins that have these basic effects will have much different effect in the interfaces and knobs and all that stuff. An audio effect version, all sorts of stuff we're going to look at bringing out for the Pro version to just make it a sweet boom. That, God, all that stuff is really, really cool. But all the patches that work in Unify will work in Unify Pro, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm going to get in trouble and say something I shouldn't. So, yeah. So, Merry Christmas. I thank you all for watching and hanging. It's very fun to see you all. And be well. Have a great holiday season. And I think I'll be around next week. I'm not sure what, if I might not, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, be well. I should have had this up higher like that. I didn't have it on the screen right. And I could have had it bigger. Oh my gosh. You guys should have said, Skippy, it's not big enough. Make it bigger on the screen. I didn't see it if somebody said that. But we could make it like that. One nice thing with Unify 2 is we now have built in the tools so you can resize it to any size you want. And if you work that way, you can go down here to this little tab and say, save this as your preferred window size. And that way it will always call up in the size that you want it to be at, which is really cool. Or you can say no, reset to the default window size and work that way. And then, oh, Shane, I have to tell you, is Shane still here? Skippy, you need to take a break. Yeah, maybe I'll take a break next week. Maybe I'll go take a drive, something like that. Refer to default window size. You have to, anyway, Merry Christmas. I'm going to stop. I'm just getting carried away and I'll just keep talking. So be well, and I'll see you soon. Bye.